Coach Franco Says is a proud member of the Philippine Podcast Directory. Check us out on Facebook and listen to the amazing lineup of local podcasters this country has to offer. Now, this is what I use for my analytics. Podmetrics, your one-stop shop for podcast analytics. Make your free account by simply signing in and put in my code, Coach Franco Says upon sign up. Very, very easy. Now, enough of this. Let's go to today's episode. Enjoy. 3, 2, 1. What's up, everybody? Your Titos of Fighting are back, and we are here for the latest and the greatest and the best news out there in the world of combat sports. I am with my co-host, the boys of Destroy MNL, JC Reyes and Karl De Mesa. And this episode is brought to you by Alak & Company and Happy Coffee PH. Okay, so thank you so much for sending us the amazing merch and the amazing products. As always, we've been advocating local products, and their products are really, really good. The coffee is amazing. The merchandise, I mean, si Alak & Company na shirt, medyo masarap yung fit niya. So this is good.
Comfy.
Diba? Very comfy. It's good for working. It's good for working out, actually.
Yeah.
With your mind. I like the designs. It plays with your mind. So again, Alak & Company, Happy Coffee PH. Please look for them on Facebook and Instagram. Get your merch and get their drinks. The drinks are amazing. Okay? Ako, I love the Vietnamese coffee and calamansi with turmeric. Okay? Apparently, those are their best sellers. So again, both of those brands, thank you so much for partnering this episode. So let's kick things off with the latest UFC Fight Night edition. This card delivered in the sense na we were expecting, like, for pag sinabi kasi ng mga tao na it's fight night, parang wala na eh. Parang it's one of those undercard main cards.
Event, eh.
Yeah. So at least for this one, we were surprised by so many things. There were so many knockouts. There were so many. Yes, there flying knee by the Sandman against Frankie Edgar. As in, I saw a meme. He was throwing the knee. Tapos si Frankie Edgar pabagsak. Tapos may watermark ni Ben Askren sa background. Sabi ko, grabe si internet. The internet is amazing. It's para
yung community natin.
That was which one was better? Was it the Masvidal or this one? Kasi it was perfectly timed. It was the execution was nearly flawless, and the way Frankie, yun nga lang eh.
Yung bagsak
so,
niya, ang sakwa.
That was
eh.
like,
ang sakit panoorin. Alam mo yun? I mean,
1 year out yan.
As fight fans and as fight analysts and as martial artists, you can't help but feel for Frankie Edgar. For Frankie Edgar has been an institution in the world of mixed martial arts. So let's start off with Karl. Karl, like when this happened, we were talking the chat group natin to go like, what?
Especially nung he was obviously measuring Frankie kasi nga Frankie is a wrestler, and there was a lot of times that he would try to feint the takedown. Ang siste, obviously Elevation MMA, props to them, has trained Corey Sanhagen very well. Nakita mo pag feint yan, set up na yan for flying knee. And I guess si Frankie thought he was going for a leaping left hook or something. So talagang yung impact, bakit siya pababa sa lubong. Kaya yung meme, sabi mo nga, sobrang savage. Parang I just really felt bad for Frankie kasi he didn't deserve that. Hindi pa naman siya BJ Penn level or like Ben Askren level that everybody hates. Si Frankie Edgar yan, New Jersey strong, but sadly now he got slapped.
Diba? Ikaw, si JC, nung nakita rin niya, parang pareho kami ng emoji na naisip eh. Diba? When you saw it.
Sandman pa yung nickname ni Sandhagen.
Diba? Sinundo. Para siyang sinundo eh. Man, I mean, well, Frankie Edgar is 39. He's done a lot for the sport. Pero ang pangit lang talaga makita 28 seconds in the first round.
It was just one of those things that you will never expect. Pero coming from, I don't want to say it's a lucky shot. It probably is.
I don't think so.
For a bit. Pero kasi the way, if you see how Frankie hasn't really evolved in terms of changing styles or improving. I'm sorry about changing. It's improving his style of striking. He's been very... Parang he has reached that point wherein he's become predictable, especially for the up-and-comers who have higher fight IQs and are definitely hungry for a win. Especially Frankie Edgar could only be good for your resume. So, syempre, it's additional motivation for whoever's gonna fight him. He will always take center of the cage, and then he will always bob his head side to side, lowering his
he will always change level. He will always lower his head. Normally, pagka ganon, the moment he started going center of the cage, Sandman automatically met him, sinalubong siya, and then at the same time, if you watch it closely, even the GIF, okay, you don't have to watch the fight, watch the GIF. He took a sidestep, cut the angle slightly, and then threw that flying knee.
Yeah.
So he was expecting the head to move in that direction, kasi sinalubong niya ng tuhod niya. It was a very smart move.
Yeah.
Pero syempre the execution and the timing and the momentum shift
Mabilis.
medyo mabilis, and it was the amazing victory. Ang galing.
Parang it's
Galing.
also parang formula for defeating grapplers na ang intro susugod agad.
Susugod agad.
Like
Oh,
talaga
that's true.
agad the takedown
That guy has studied a lot of that. Paulit-ulit siguro yung Gray Maynard versus Frankie Edgar na
Yun
laban,
din,
diba?
diba? I think yun to Karl's point, a lot of people found a way to figure out and solve the Frankie Edgar puzzle when he fought Gray Maynard. Twice sila naglaban, diba?
Yeah.
So they fought twice, and in both instances, Gray Maynard almost got him in trouble. Pero he was very resilient, he was very tough, and he was able to inch out to win. Pero yun pa rin parang lumabas na dun And then eventually, his armor started chipping away, and then came the Brian Ortega fight, the Max Holloway fight. Ako pinagtataka ko, wasn't he mixing things up? He's always been the guy who loves to mix things up. That made Frankie Edgar a very exciting fighter. Pero he just stood there. He became a target. He rarely used his wrestling. He rarely used his grappling. I don't know what was the game plan, pero yun nga, it led to his demise. And then let's go to the next one, the main event of this card, Overeem versus Volkov.
Oh man, isa pa.
In our previous episode, Karl De Mesa would always want a win for Overeem.
Yeah. Our hearts are always with the Reem.
Ako rin parang I wanted him, kasi especially when he granted that interview and he said na, when I win the belt, that's it for me. Parang ako, okay, that makes sense.
Handa na siya
Diba? That makes sense. He's 40 plus. Pero he's not at the championship caliber fighter we would want him to be. Probably because the absence of the magic beans. Ni JC
Or the horse meat.
Tsaka yung mga horse meat na kung saan man niya binibili, and Mexican supplements that is available to him is not available to him
Dutch
anymore.
brownies or whatever.
Sayang. Volkov was very impressive though. Not to take away anything from Volkov.
Yeah.
He was impressive. He was getting better. Parang Overeem was fat. Overeem was slow.
He was slow. Yun
Slow.
I thought he would grapple more. Kasi last time he did, diba?
Ako,
For first
while watching the fight, I was like,
ng title contention, wala siya sa shape.
Wala.
Exactly.
Wala siya sa shape. So,
While watching the fight, I was like,
he's not in
nakaganon
the
ako.
game.
Parang,
nakamanghay, diba? What is he doing? Tapos yung
parang
you
tumigil
remember
na
he has an
ako.
over-reliance sa shell guard niya. Palagi na lang siyang nagsishell up ng
Yeah,
ganun.
sa
Tapos
corner,
walang
diba?
nangyayari. Oo.
Tsaka you keep telling people so and so and so. Parang ito yun you are mounting off so many things. You're projecting you are talking about you want your career to be in a certain projectile, pero you're not performing at that level.
Yeah.
It's just sad. I hope he hangs his gloves, diba? So
Maybe
so
one or two more
so
fights.
fighting, ano tayo? Let's start with Karl. Let's go to JC. Like, so for example, Overeem and Frankie Edgar, should they retire na?
Yeah, I think definitely si Frankie with that he'll probably never do it kasi nga siya parang very workmanlike, very blue collar. He'll probably keep fighting till the wheels come off. But ito yung definitely for Dana, somebody like Frankie who served the company well for so long, so many wars, di ba? Yung palang dalawang Gray Maynard na yun. Like, I've watched it maybe so many times na parang, ito pala yung grabing baragan lang. Parang on the level of Forrest and Stefan Bonner, di ba? Siguro 1 or 2 na lang, guys. Parang ito na yung level na, kasi next week meron namang Cowboy versus Diego Sanchez. Parang one of those guys should definitely fucking retire, man. Na hindi na joke ito. Alam kung what the fuck is he doing? He's a mystical shamanic
whatever rituals.
Inspired, FMA shit, whatever. Like, Overeem, I think he can do a couple more fights. Sayang naman if he just hangs up his gloves. I would like to see him parang go out with Like, kahit hindi title contention, somebody like...
Well, first off, yung kay Frankie Edgar, well, he's lost 3 of his last 5 outings.
Ano?
Mm.
Ano?
Last win niya prior tong KO niya was a split decision. I think one of the reasons why medyo hirap siya ngayon for some reason is he went down to bantamweight from featherweight.
So from,
Oo,
from
indeed.
155, where is he fighting now? 135 ba?
130 from
135
145 na 135 siya at his
Damn.
age.
Damn.
Medyo
And he was still at number 4 the last time I
Yeah.
checked
Yeah.
sa
Damn,
rankings.
at 39 you go down to 135 tas lalaban ka pa. You're probably not gonna be the same. First of all, Frankie needs to be in the proper headspace kasi best way to get him to get his the old Frankie Edgar back, some of the best fights in the UFC. And he's been there. I mean, yung mga laban niya kay BJ Penn, kay Henderson, kay Maynard, ilang beses din yun.
Overeem.
Si Overeem
Si
naman.
Overeem.
Ha.
From Overeem to
Overeem. No more magic beans for him.
Daan eh.
Obviously. Not even the
ones
most
that were-
watered down
Oo,
beans na
oo,
pwedeng
diba?
gamitin. Di na talaga
Wala
gumagana.
na nga ni
yata
isang
sa kanya.
kabula na eh.
Pinagbawal na siya doon kahit sa lalo na he was one of those guys that really abused the TRT allowance.
Oh shit. Yeah. Yeah.
Medyo obvious.
Tingnan nyo yung
nung nawala
Instagram
yun,
niya, yung
Diba?
kanyang championship
Sabi ni
body,
UFC,
tsaka yung body
Okay,
niya
guys,
ngayon. My
ang
God.
layo eh.
Oo, di ba? Sabi ng
Dahil-
UFC, okay
That was
guys,
just 3 years ago 4
I
years
think
ago.
we can allow you to use TRT. Sabi siguro ni Uber.
Yes! TRT!
Pero
let me jack up my body 5 times the normal testosterone level.
Grabe, no? Grabe. He looked
Francis
good din
Ngannou, Curtis Blades,
Oo.
Rosenstrike, oo nga no.
Rosenstrike, tapos si Volkov, malalaki to.
Has he
Talaga, mas
won?
malaki sa kanya.
Has he won so far? Like what are
Yeah,
the wins?
he got,
What did he win
he got
against?
si JDS natalo niya, but si JDS
Oh,
medyo
okay.
over the hill na eh.
Yeah, same.
He probably needs to, for me lang, it probably needs to hang it up kasi he's been fighting since 1999. Lahat ng ibang kasabay niya nun. Man,
Oo nga no, wala na.
Wala na.
Pala no.
Sina Chuck,
Power.
sina Hendo, wala na.
Oo,
yung mga
staying
inabot
power.
ko sa Pride dati, wala na lahat halos. Ilan na lang ba natira? Parang wala.
Lugera, wala na.
I
99.
I totally agree with both my co-hosts here. Are two of the most entertaining and prolific fighters during their era. I really thought that Frankie Edgar was fighting at 145, but as per
Yeah.
JC's records, 135 na pala siya. That's gonna be a lot of weight to cut at 39 years old. Definitely your performance will be affected. And ito lang yun, at 135, you're gonna be severely depleted. Hence, diba, it's gonna be easier for people to knock you out. The main reason Frankie Edgar at 155 was very, very sturdy and tough was because he wasn't really cutting weight. He was just
I think that's it. Tama ka yung toughness niya eh.
so the toughness is still there. The mental strength is still there. It's just that his body's not responding the way it
yeah.
used to be. From fighting at 155, he did a campaign at 145, and now he's further depleting himself at
Grabe.
135. That's
At
not a
39.
smart move to go.
No.
I really hope if he wants to fight
Wow.
some more before he hangs his glove, probably go to
Fit na lang siya
145.
siguro.
Oh, like go to 145 or
That's
finish
true.
off your career at 155.
You know who has a similar career trajectory with shifting weight classes? Si
Ito,
Diego
Jose,
Sanchez.
Diego Sanchez.
Oo.
Diego
Diego
Sanchez
Sanchez.
naman, isa pa rin yun eh. Pero parang,
Crazy
daanan natin yan si Diego
Oo nga,
Sanchez
oo
mamaya
nga.
kasi parang medyo may secret ano yan eh, may voodoo shit yan si Diego Sanchez eh. Pero again, these are like same with Overeem, these are era fighters eh. So as what JC said, when he actually said 1999, I was like, God damn, that was a very long time na. Diba?
Kumbaga,
So,
dolo na
What was I
siya sa
doing in
fight.
99?
and he's fought in different organizations.
Yeah.
And how much more damage can he take, and how much training is he actually doing? Kasi ako, I was fairly disappointed with his performance. I didn't see any kind of preparation. The punches were really slow. He was loading on his punches. He was flat on his feet. He was just shelling up. And then when he decided to go for a takedown, it was half-assed. He wanted to go for a clinch. It was half-assed. I don't know his motivations for fighting. Is he just finishing off his contract? I don't know, just to sell the fight. He would say na he wants another title run. It's a disservice to the sport. It's a
Yeah.
disservice to the fans. Not to take away anything from his
Parang-
accomplishments, diba?
Yeah.
Pero ano it's just not fair. It's just not fair.
Parang he started fighting like si Beast sa X-Men from before. Now he's fighting like Winnie the Pooh.
Pero
I haven't seen Winnie the Pooh fight,
Pero
man,
may
but-
point eh.
Yeah,
Katawan
tama.
niya ngayon
Diba
pang
yung
Winnie
katawan
the Pooh
niya,
na talaga eh. Di ba? He was slow, di ba? Randy Couture fought until his early 40s. He didn't look that way. He
hindi
wasn't
ganun
moving that way.
He
Randy
changed his
Couture
diet though. I think I remember what you're saying. Parang nag-alkaline diet ako. Ganyan.
labo nun, di ba? He
Oo.
could just probably saying those things. Now, di ba, let's go to the flip side. Let's talk about Clay Guida and Diego
Oh my
Sanchez.
God.
Diego
Yan.
Sanchez is still part of Ultimate Fighter Season 1.
Yeah.
And he's still
Yeah.
fighting. He campaigned in different weight classes, the highest being 170. And this guy's been through so many wars as well.
Oh my
Diba?
God. Yeah.
So,
Grabe.
I
It
mean,
shows.
there are fighters who are run of the mill. They should hang their gloves. Clay Guida and Diego Sanchez are probably in that category as well. However, they perform eh. They perform. As in,
I love the limelight, man.
I just really hope Diego goes back to the nightmare. I don't understand what he's going through. If we're talking about
Still
health,
the nightmare though.
May
Diba?
mental problem
oh,
siya.
diba? In the words of JC and Carl here, when you're talking about proper headspace, I do not know where Diego Sanchez's headspace is at.
When you're up against the cage and you're doing this, I don't think that's the proper headspace, bro. As in, like, yun, Hawaiian dance.
Hindi ko rin alam eh. I don't know.
Diba?
It's probably the guy that he's with. Is he still with that guy, that
right?
weird
The
guy?
guru.
The guru, ayan, diba? Is he still with the guru? Tapos
Yeah.
the
I
guru
think so.
that keeps on
Feeling ko,
telling
ano
him
na yan, couple
Hindi
na
ba yun?
sila eh. Kasi,
Di ba
do
parang
certain
that's his
fights.
only
Sabi na lang
coach
kayo,
right
diba?
the
now.
airport, diba?
alam mo ano
no.
yan? Pinoy yun, ah.
Pinoy ba yun? Oh, no. Huwag
Oh
natin.
my, no.
Kung pag hindi Pinoy, hindi yan Pinoy pride. Hindi yan hashtag Pinoy pride. Kinakahiya. Ikakahiya natin yan.
Nakakaya talaga.
Kakahiya natin
My
yan.
goodness.
Diba?
Grabe.
And then, let's go Clay Guida. Sa pang, this guy's
Oo.
crazy.
Yeah.
Tapos he defeated
man.
Michael Johnson. Michael Johnson is no pushover.
No.
He's not
He's a
really
fast striker.
diba? He's not the fresh off the boat guy, pero he's a contender. He can give you
Yeah.
trouble. When we pulled up the fight card, I really hope that, for example, for Overeem and Frankie Edgar, if they still want to fight, I hope the UFC gives them the same quality or the same caliber fighters. Kasi for example, Overeem, then you're gonna make him go against Volkov.
Ang batang Russian. na
Oh,
mahaba.
diba? It's a young Russian against an aging Dutchman. Parang
Not fair.
it's not fair. It's not fair.
fair,
Diba?
man.
Frankie Edgar against Sandman. Frankie Edgar's 39. This guy is
Sandhagen just
Diba?
KO'd Marlon Moraes.
Tsaka he wants a run at the titles. 'Di ba? So legitimate claim 'yon. So I really hope na, for example, let's go for legacy fights, like legacy fights, just 'di ba? 2 to 3 fights. I agree with Carl. 2 to 3 fights before they call it a day.
Yeah.
'Di ba? So after that, let's go to yung the day that Carl dreads finally come. Paige Van Zant
Paige Van Zant.
debuting at
Getting-
bare-knuckle fighting championship. Tama ba? Championship ba or
What a
defeated
bloodbath.
by a decision by decision by Britton Hart? Not bad. Ako not bad ah. He was
Actually,
trying to he was probably thinking na she was wearing 4-ounce gloves. The way she
Yes.
fought. And then she probably
Yes.
realized, oh my God, bare knuckle, iba pala talaga.
She
Diba?
was fighting at MMA distance, parang may
Oh.
kicks.
So, tawag dito, when I saw it, I was like, okay, this is her baptism of fire. Let's see if she wants to do it again.
Yeah.
Kasi there's a difference between fighting with gloves and fighting with bare hands.
Yeah.
And I think with all the BKFC events that we've covered, we've realized now, it's either the fight goes 1 round or 2 rounds, depending on how much they throw. For people who are gonna watch and listen to this, BKFC, some of the fights are on YouTube. Go search them out. It's all over social media. You will see, and it gives you a different angle at fighting. Na parang you'll realize people there throw lesser punches. Kasi it
malakas
hurts.
siya
It really hurts.
yeah.
Okay, it hurts your knuckles and it hurts your wrist. Hence the emphasis on the wraps. Makapal siya sa wrist area.
Dito
Diba?
ako mag-strike.
Oo,
Strike
tapos
dito.
every time you strike above the
Sakit.
eyebrow level, it hurts more. I think we've
Yeah, parang naipagsuntukan sa kali.
Hindi,
Sa
wala na
sakit.
yun.
Isa
Yun
sport.
talaga yun. Parang yun talaga
Oo.
yun.
Yun na yun, basically.
Yung sinabi ni
Kali
JC,
talaga.
yun po talaga yun. Okay?
Oo.
Nakipagsunto, yun talaga yun. The closest na
Suntukan.
nakipagsuntukan ka sa
Yeah.
kalye. As in, it's gonna
Alam
be
mo-
bone to
alam mo,
flesh.
Pag gumanon
Yeah.
ka,
It's gonna be
Hindi
knuckle
yun.
to flesh. That's why there are a lot of fighters, especially boxers, who transition to BKFC when they start throwing the jabs and their knuckles hit the face. You'll see
Akala
the
nila-
reaction of the reaction on their faces na parang shit. Hindi pala medyo masakit to
Walang
masakit.
ano,
Then you will
Yeah.
see them
Covering.
pace. Yeah, they're gonna start pacing na. 'Di ba?
I guess we've seen the difference of fighting bare knuckle versus yung experience mo from other sports Like for example, kay Poli Malinagi who fought the GOAT, Artem Lobov.
Artem, the goat.
The goat. The
Grabe yun,
BKFC
Yun,
goat.
may galit
Diba? Malinagi was no ordinary boxer pero parang hindi nahirapan
Hindi siya
pa
umubra
rin
kay
siya.
Artem
Hindi siya umubra kay Artem.
Tsaka
The
ano,
GOAT.
parang we clearly see na
Then yung MMA striking ni Paige Van Zant
Mm,
didn't work.
volume punching is not a smart strategy
It's not.
in BKFC.
So, you guys remember, to your point, Franco, you guys remember how Will Chope got KO'd?
Oo, second round ba yun? Or early in the first round?
I think it's the second. I think it was the first. Kasi talagang he was out there pretty fast. Sabi mo nga, kumakain ka pag upo mo, ay tapos na.
Parang first round.
Iba yung impact especially when I saw it for the first time and I saw the reactions of the fighters every time they got hit. Lalo na when it's the debut of that fighter.
Yeah.
Ako, when I see na it's may sarili na silang BKFC record. So I know like, okay, this guy knows the game. This guy already knows what to expect. So when they get punched na parang they can roll with the punches or they either tinitiis nila or they roll better with the punches. Yun yung napansin ko kay BKFC. And then here comes the debut fighters. The moment they start throwing 2 or 3 punch combinations, makikita mo yung biglang atras. Tapos they realize, okay, my hand
Di pala
hurts.
pwede yung ganong combo.
Di pala pwede yung ganon. Di pala
Haba.
pwede yung ganon. Oo. Then they start pacing. And then you see more loaded shots. Actually, you see more loaded shots sa BKFC. Ang ano ko lang naman is, oh my God, anong itsura ni Paige after nito.
Oh, it wasn't
Pero,
so bad,
Wasn't so bad. It wasn't so bad.
Yung previous na fight, I'll look it up. Taylor Starling versus Charissa Sigala.
Ayun yung pasaga
bloodbath.
ng mukha. Oh, yun yung
That was the one I posted, I think.
or you watch BKFC events, you will see the damage on the person receiving the punches
Grabe.
and the damage on the
Well,
hands of
punit
the person
kung punit
delivering the punch. Totoo yan. Yung sinabi ni
Punit
JC
both
na
sides.
medyo there's just damage on both ends. So there's damage. If you see a cut on the opponent's face, you'll also see a cut on the knuckles of the person who delivered the punch. Okay, let's go back
Alright.
here in the East for some 1FC action.
Part 3.
Unbreakable Part 3, Stamp Fairtex versus Rasuhina. I was actually surprised with Stamp Fairtex ground game. It was
Improved.
really good. It was
Pass guard
impressive.
straight to mount.
Yep. Half guard transitions were there.
First striker.
The guard recovery was there. Guard passing was on point. And it was the type of guard passing that is very good for MMA. Diba? Went straight to a more dominant position. Went straight to she got the mount so many times. Probably 2
Back control.
times. Diba?
Thrice ata.
Back control. It's it's really good. She was winning that fight. She was winning that fight.
Totally. 3 rounds.
Until Rasuhina went for a half guard guillotine and then she tapped.
Quarter
She
nga
had an
ata
explanation
Diba? It
doon.
wasn't deep at all.
Actually, yun nga, ang nakakatawa doon, her explanation was, di ba, naka-choke na sa kanya. Sabi niya, she was reaching out her hand, ginagapang niyang ganun para daw
Come on.
sa ulo.
Oh, come on.
Yun yung explanation niya, kaya
Guys,
nakakatawa.
alam nating lahat kung paano gumapang ang kamay, di
Yung
ba?
gapang daw
Diyos ko
ganun, pero
naman.
yung gapang niya ganun lang. Pinaglololo ko yata.
Teka,
Feeling ko
Coach Franco,
coping
explain mo yung
feeling ko coping
positional,
mechanism na lang yan. I think it's a coping mechanism
Yeah.
for what she
Hindi niya
did.
matanggap kasi
Hindi niya matanggap because she was winning. I mean, it's understandable. She
Yeah.
was winning that goddamn fight. Diba? I was very impressed with
It's-
Stamp. Now, the position was Rasuhino was in the bottom half guard and she went for a guillotine. She was twisting at a really good angle. However, uh, Stamp was on top. What she could have done was she could have just passed the guard. She could have done a knee slide, went to side mount, stayed there, or knee slide or half guard pass, went to north south. It was just 15 or 10 or 15 seconds.
10 seconds na nga lang.
O yun, di ba? Sayang.
Pwede nyo nang tiisin.
Yun din. Yeah, sakto si JC. Most fighters, titiisin na lang nila.
10 seconds na lang eh.
Or, ito yun, nakalimutan ko rin I forgot to tell this on our discussion board. Stamp had a timer on her head.
Yeah.
Na parang she heard the clap. She heard the clap, 10-second clapper. Tapos she started counting.
Possible.
So again, this is a good reminder for the fighters, the coaches, even the corners. When they start shouting 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, that's not the official.
That's not the time.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not the official timer. You stop the fight when the bell sounds. When the bell rings, that's the time you stop. When the referee says stop, that's the time you stop.
Yes.
Okay. Ano yun feeling ko yun she was defending, she was there, tapos nagbibilang siguro siya 10, 9, 8, 7, tapos nung nag-1 na, sinasabi niya na, oy, tapos na.
Pakawalan mo na ako.
Pakawalan mo na ako, pero hindi pa pala nagre-ring yung bell. So again, pero I kind of I kind of expect more from her in terms of fight maturity.
I think yung inaisip ko lang na reason why nag-complain siya ng ganun is nabawasan lalo yung chance na makatapat niya si Angela Lee if bumalik na. Kasi
for sure.
She's lost her 2 belts already, tas may talo pa siya ngayon sa MMA.
Are we not saying anything about her red hair? Or
parang it's New Year, new stamp daw. New Year, new stamp. Pero ako feeling ko may pinagdadaanan yan. Ano ba to? Hindi natin alam kung ano bang...
What happened?
Diba? Heartbroken ba to? Or parang mismanagement, losing sponsors?
From the guy who now trains with Senchai.
Running around with his new girl
on
social media and in Bangkok.
Yeah.
Sakit, ate.
Diba? Maliit lang pala ang Thailand. Thailand so small.
I feel for Stamp, man. She should have won that.
Ako rin. I
Sayang.
was like when I was watching it, I was like, come on. You were that close. You were 10 seconds away. Sabihin natin 15. You were 15 seconds away from winning that fight convincingly. Like hands down.
Kung maluwag na submission, 'di ba? Kayang tiisin 'yun ng 15 seconds or even 20.
Yeah.
I really hope she bounces back. I really hope na she gets over this both. She can recover physically, but I really hope she recovers emotionally and mentally. Kasi ito yun sayang I saw a lot of improvements. The striking was really crisp.
Yeah.
I mean, the elbows from the clinch were amazing.
Oh my God.
The timing on her punches.
Nag-back up yung Ukrainian girl. Wala.
Oh. Tapos, I mean, the ground game was really impressive. I loved the improvements that she's done. Clearly, she's been training really, really well. Please, fighters and coaches, when you're watching, please let this fight be a lesson on. Okay, the reason why there's a referee, there's a reason why there are officials, and there is a reason why there is an official timer. Okay, so let's
defend
go next.
yourself at all times.
Tapos, let's go to our kwentuhan sessions. Okay, Tito sessions. We shout out to Peñalosa Boxing Gym here in Better Living. Okay, the coaches there, si Coach Flower, di ba? Tapos shout out to the Laurente family, Pit Laurente and Coach Titing Laurente. Shout out as well to MP Highlands Boxing Gym there in Manila. So for people in Manila, dyan sa likod ng FEU Gym, it's on the 5th floor of I forgot the building. Pero when you go to that street, sa R Papa Street, just ask the people there, where is MP Highlands Boxing Gym? Get your workout. It's a very historic. It's a very historic gym.
Hinahanap ng gym. My goodness.
It's a very historic gym. A lot of champions, a lot of Filipino international champions train and spar there. I was fortunate enough to have had the time and the opportunity to go to one of these sparring sessions, and then we were discussing this off air. Parang iba yung feeling na you go to a gym and there are customers, and then you go to a gym and there are fighters. I grew up in an environment wherein I was so used to going to gyms with fighters, training with fighters, learning from fighters, getting scolded by coaches. So every time I go to a gym and there are a lot of customers, parang I feel so iba yung feeling. Tapos parang feeling mo nga ikaw pa yung outcast doon. So that was
that
me
environment.
growing up. I was just exposed to a different environment. That's why I had a better appreciation, and going through the motions of visiting that place brought back so many memories. I saw great fighters there, great fighters, great coaches, old coaches that still produce a lot of champions and a lot of fighters. It was truly an amazing experience. So MP Highlands Boxing Gym, thank you so much for having me over.
Thank you.
Hopefully the three of us can go there one of these days for another hangout
Maybe
with you
even
guys as
record
well.
an episode there or something.
Oh yeah, pwede,
yeah.
di ba? Pwede, we can
no,
probably
shout
do
out.
that. Like we can do an exclusive boxing episode dun sa MP Highlands Boxing Gym. There are so many champions there. So si Wonder Boy was there, Pit Laurente was there, Janelle Lauso was there. It's so good to see those guys and catch up with them.
Shark Tank.
Oh, it's a huge Shark Tank, and then the atmosphere, the vibe. It was so happy. It was amazing. Now, major observation that I saw being in that experience is that yun nga what I felt before was the same that I felt during that day. So I still saw a lot of methodologies. We have to understand this is a boxing country. A lot of the coaches adhere to the OG type of training. We've produced so many champions. We've produced so many international icons with those methodologies. Ito na nga, andun ako sa point of begging coaches to just please, 'di ba, improve the craft, improve the art of coaching. Kasi yun din let's get rid of bro science. Like for example, observation ko lang to, none of them really warmed up properly. I saw some fighters like nag-skip rope, nag-shadow box, ideally stretching is nagkakaroon na rin ng iba't ibang studies about stretching, and ako na naman during my experience as both fighting, and I never really stretched. I never really
Doesn't
did
help
any.
though much pala, no?
Oh, it doesn't really help much pala. So for the boxers, the MMA fighters, the fighters and the coaches, please listen to this. Static stretching doesn't really doesn't really work. So when you say
Mobility,
static
na ngayon,
stretching, para yung mga unat-unat, ganyan.
Unat-unat.
Okay. What you need to do are muscle activating exercises. So jog in place, skip rope, shadow box, hit the mitts properly, hit the bags. So ano po tayo? Gradual. So parang isipin nyo ngayon that your body is a diesel engine. Kailangan bumuelo muna. Kailangan uminit, tapos saka ka umarangkada.
Parang oven din. Ano muna?
Yan.
Preheat
Kailangan
muna,
preheat
kumbaga.
Preheat muna. Another analogy that is very good was from Sensei Alvin Aguilar. He said that treat your body as a piece of rubber. When it's cold, you stretch it, it breaks. But if you stretch it and you roll it out evenly with time, diba, the elasticity increases, you expand more. That's how muscles work. When we got there, there were fighters na they knew how to warm up. So while waiting for their turn, nag-skip rope, nag-shadow box. Yung iba nag-aano lang, nag-aabang-abang lang, nagagalaw-galaw lang, nagsistretch ng konti. So when they entered the ring for their sparring session, they gassed out immediately, or it took them a few more rounds or a few more minutes before they got their second wind. The reason why you spar is to get your timing, get your rhythm, develop your instincts, tapos know where to pick your spots. Find the angles.
Do your game plan.
O yun, you're gonna execute your game plan. You want to get the most out of your sparring. Gusto mo, pagdating mo dun sa gym para sa sparring, gusto mo masulit yung oras mo. Gusto mo masulit yung oras mo. As in, sinabi ni JC, Shark Tank na Shark Tank. The quality of boxers during that day was staggering. I was like, ang sarap naman ng training session na to. Sabi ko, lahat ng halimaw nandito. Parang ang sarap. Di ba? Na tipong, sabi ko,
when else will you get that opportunity?
Oo, exactly. So parang tuwa ako that the boxing community in the Philippines is still doing that. When I was starting, they were already doing that. At least tinutuloy yung practice na yun, tsaka yung tradition na yun ngayon. And experience na lang ang nagdala. As in, pag nakita mo, they were using technique, they were using speed, they were using quickness and accuracy. They were not hurting each other. Yun yung kinaganda doon.
That's good sparring.
Walang referee. Walang referee. Kasi spar sila.
Walang
Tapos
nag-moderate.
bigayan, walang napipikon.
That's how you should do sparring, hindi yung patayan.
Oo.
Kasi
which is
sa regard na yon, lamang na lamang si boxing. Pero syempre kasi si boxing, matagal na si boxing sa Pilipinas
Yeah.
eh. Yung mga fighters, na, lalo na yung mga pro, alam na nila yan eh. Talagang doon ako, yun yung ugali na gusto kong dalhin when I coach MMA fighters. Kasi MMA fighters, medyo mainit pa yan eh. Para pag tinamaan, nagkakapikunan sa gym eh. Diba? It was amazing. Ang ganda. Ang ganda ng experience. They would give, magbibigayan, tatanggap. Alam mo na may purpose yung bawat suntok. May purpose yung bawat bitaw. Hindi sila sumusobra dun sa bigay. Yun yung nakakatuwa. Tapos, nakikinig sila sa parang, yan, nagkaroon ng, so nag-clinch o nag-ano. Pag sumigaw na yung mga tao sa paligid na, oy, break na, nagbe-break. Faculties at maturity ng mga boxingero talaga. Iba, doon ako saludo sa kanila.
Sounds very professional.
Yeah.
At yung mga, I mean, these are the pointers na makikita natin. Tsaka yun, because of limited budget, limited resources, kaya rin siguro hanggang ngayon nakikita ko talaga buhay na buhay pa rin yung bro science.
It's
Buhay na buhay.
unfortunate, pero
Ang easy fallback eh, di ba?
Oo,
actually,
totoo.
easy fallback talaga, bro.
Tsaka-
science.
Low hanging fruit.
Tsaka siguro dahil na rin ito yung sinabi ni ganito, pinakikinggan nila, sinasabi ganito. Kaya rin, like for example, I was able to hang out with, hopefully we get to train together. Yun yung sinasabi ko kay Pit nun eh. Sabi ko, I mean, mahirap siya gawin, pero be that fighter na on your free time, pabutihin mo yung sarili mo.
Yeah.
Kasi ang goal is, hindi ka maging champion sa Pilipinas, kailangan maging champion ka sa buong mundo. Diba?
Mismo.
Then I think itong bro science is the reason why ngayon, for some reason, yung mga fighters natin, okay dito sa Pilipinas, pagdating sa ibang bansa, mostly fall short.
That's fucking true. That's
Laging
100%.
nagkukulang. Ganun ba yun?
That's 100%.
Oo.
I mean,
There's always something lacking.
yeah.
Tsaka nakakatuwa rin naman parang maganda yung tiwala at yung relationship ng mga boxers sa mga coaches nila. Yun yung nakita ko, ang ganda. So now,
Chemistry,
medyo it's added responsibility for the coaches to really educate themselves more. I mean, it's hard. Siyempre, dagdag yan sa pero ito yun eh. Yung dagdag na knowledge na gagawin mo, na ipapasa mo sa mga boksingero mo, na mas magko-contribute sa pagkapanalo nila, mas lalaki ngayon yung opportunity mo para magkaroon ng isa pang laban, magkaroon pa uli ng isa pang laban, kasi bawat panalo, mas maraming kita yun eh. Diba? Yun yung nakikita ko sa boxing eh. And the same with MMA. So, I really hope that there's gonna be maturity when it comes to the level of coaching and the level of training. Like, ang dami na especially sa recovery, sa methodology,
Yan.
sa
Nutrition, supplements.
nutrition, yan, nutrition. As in, ano na lang talaga, YouTube natin mga sir, di ba? YouTube natin, Google natin, sabihin natin, ito na lang din, panoorin nyo po kung paano mag-train yung mga Olympic boxers ng iba't ibang bansa. Panoorin nyo po kung paano mag-train yung mga Cubano, yung mga Ruso.
Yes.
Diba?
The Russians especially.
Diba? So,
Obsessed sila
Just
dyan.
not the magic beans, but yeah, the
Iba na yun. Dark arts
Tama.
na yun, pare.
Tama si JC,
Dark
okay?
arts. Oo.
Wag tayo doon.
Tayo dun.
Mahuhuli.
Malilintikan
Pag nahuli ka,
tayo
tapos
dun.
ang karir. Pag nahuli,
Tsaka
tapos ang
makikita mo
karir.
yung
Wag.
diferensya ng pag galing sa dark arts tapos nahuli tapos bumalik sa competition. Yung mga katawan na ganyan makita natin. Vitor Belfort,
Yeah.
Oo naman.
Overeem. Sino
Diba?
pa ba, pre? Puta.
TRT Vitor lang. Diyos ko, tapos na usapan.
And I think naman sa combat sports in the Philippines, kahit lalo sa boxing, they rarely use those things kasi alam nilang titigas masyado yung muscles nila or magkakaroon sila ng muscles in unnecessary places na pag lumaban na sila, mas mahirapan silang gumalaw.
Tsaka yan, to JC's point, dagdagan ko lang, when you train, especially in boxing, your ability to throw punches, build skill, tapos ang strength and conditioning nyo dapat, ang weight training nyo, pang-complement or pang-supplement ng boxing training. So, hindi kailangan, especially kung lumalaban ka doon sa lower weight divisions, hindi mo kailangan magbuhat ng sobrang bigat.
Yeah.
Tapos kailangan ang training mo, dynamic training. Yung mga pang-explosiveness, pang-muscle maintenance, muscle endurance, muscle resistance, basta muscle endurance. Tsaka tawag ito, para tumagal ka sa laban, 'di ba? Maliit ka pero malakas ka. Yun yung goal mo. Yun yung goal mo sa strength and conditioning. Ako, right off the bat, let's give concrete examples. Kettlebells are amazing for combat sports. Resistance bands are amazing for combat sports. If you could do basic gymnastics or calisthenics, body weight exercises, amazing for combat sports. And it's not hard to do. You don't really need much equipment. Tapos you can almost do it everywhere. Sobrang siya. Marami tayong resources diyan. Sabi ko nga, imbes na maghanap kayo ng chicks sa Facebook or 'di ba, mag-message kayo ng mga random na gusto niyo bulayin babae. Gawin niyo yan siguro on your really really spare time. Pero focus tayo sa training, focus tayo sa pag-i-improve ng kasi nakakatuwa. Ang ganda ng skill set ng mga boxingerong nakita ko. As in, malayo dun sa level ng boxing ng Pilipinas dati. Ang ganda. Ito nga, mga fundamentals ito, ang lilinis eh. So at least yan, nakikita natin nag-i-improve pa rin kahit papaano. Limited yung resources, limited yung oras, pero nakikita natin nag-i-improve. So ayan.
And yun nga, not to take anything away from the coaches. I mean, yung fighters nag-upgrade ng skills and dapat pati coaches nag-upgrade ng skills non-stop.
Take advantage of yung current research. Kahit yung basic na, ang daming namimigay ng mga strength and conditioning for yung si Phil Daro pa lang na tiga ATT.
Phil Darius.
Diba? 5 ata yung libre niyang parang nutrition and
so ayan, coaches for boxing, even in MMA, other combat sports. So look for these channels on YouTube, Functional Patterns, Phil Darius, yung ATT, American Top Team. Look for Cuban boxing coaches, look for Russian boxing coaches. For example, a boxer, may boxingero tinanong ko, okay ba yung mga ganitong exercises, ganyan. Sabi ko, bro, ganito kasimple yan. Kailan mo nakitang nag-deadlift si Manny Pacquiao or si Mayweather?
Actually.
Kailan nag-deadlift ng 200 pounds yung dalawang yon? Ako, I never seen them. Have you seen, nakita mo ba na nag-squat sila ng 300 pounds or 200 pounds? No.
Sobrang sport-specific no?
Yun so para sa akin, hindi mo siya kailangan.
Parang
hindi mo siya, ewan ko, kung gusto mo gawin mo.
Nakita mo lang from somebody else's kinaya mo.
Lang. Kasi nakita siguro si John Jones.
Feeling ko, Titos, ito yun eh. Yung bodybuilding na buhat, yun yung ginagawa nila, tas iniisip nila, it will benefit yung combat sports training nila. This is not just for boxing. This goes for MMA as well, for taekwondo, for karate. So again, marami na tayong so i-search mo lang sa YouTube, workouts for MMA, workouts for boxing, workouts for karate, workouts for Muay Thai. Medyo na siya. Functional training, di ba? Kasi kailangan sport specific na tayo. Mahirap kasi yung lumalaban ka sa combat sports tapos ang buhat mo pang bodybuilding.
Oo. Wini-wear out mo yung katawan mo.
Oo, mas gusto natin mahaba yung career, gusto natin maganda yung career, gusto natin wala masyadong injuries kasi pag na-injure ka, mawawalan ka ng opportunity lumaban, mababawasan yung chances mo kumita. And then disiplina. Tsaka lang tayo, guys. May nag-message na naman I think I set the screenshot doon sa natin doon. May message sa akin, sabi niya, gusto ko po maging MMA fighter pero wala akong gym. Gusto ko maging MMA pero wala po akong sponsor, wala po akong coach. Sabi ko, bro, kung gusto mo talagang gawin, maraming paraan. Kasi nasa probinsya daw siya, yada. Sabi ko, bro, si Manny Pacquiao, nagsimula sa probinsya, nag-i-ensayo mag-isa. Sabi ko, wala siyang coach, wala siyang sponsor,
puno ng nyog.
wala siyang suporta. Nagtatrabaho siya. Sabi ko, parang siguro I was being harsh with reality sa kanya. Sabi ko, ano na ba ang accomplishments mo para bigyan ka ng sponsor?
Exactly.
Sabi ko, di ba, anong pinagkaiba mo sa ibang fighters na established na, bakit kailangan ikaw may sponsor, sila wala? Tsaka, sino ka ba para magkaroon ka ng sponsor? Tsaka ito yun eh. And for everyone din, para rin sa lahat, hindi ganun kadali yung sponsor. Pag ikaw yung sponsor, syempre, magbibigay ka, kailangan may balik yun.
Yeah.
So, pag nagbigay sila sa inyo, tas ikaw, kinabukasan, magising ka, sabihin mo, ay, ayoko na pala to.
Hindi pwede yun.
Diba?
It's not how it
syempre,
works.
Ano yun? Yeah.
Wala na.
So, hindi siya ganun kadali,
Wow.
guys.
It's,
Okay?
it's actually something na nakikita ko sa mga combat sports groups on Facebook. May isang group pa ako na kung saan member ako. Ang daming nakalagay doon. Halos every day. May
Parang alam na
nagpo-post
natin yan,
doon.
Sabihin mo yan, JC. Sabihin mo.
Alam na natin yan.
Well, nothing against the group, pero it's sa Pilipinas Boxing Enthusiasts at saka sa Boxing Talk Pilipinas yata. I see, from time to time, I see people posting there na gusto ko pong maging fighter, kaya lang wala akong coach, wala akong gym, papaano po ba?
Nagsubok ka na bang pumunta ng gym?
Alam mo, sinabi rin sa akin yan nung nag-message sa akin. Ang dami ko na tatanggap na ganyan eh. Kaya minsan sinasagot ko na din, pinapatulang ko na lang. Sabi ko talaga, bro, may YouTube. Sabi ko, may YouTube. Practice ka. Practice kasi wala kang gym. Mag-YouTube ka. Practicein mo paulit-ulit. Paulit-ulit. O wala kang YouTube. Ayan. Maghanap ka ng old recording or manood ka sa TV, di ba? May nakita kang commercial or gayahin mo 'yun 1,000 beses. Diba? May paraan. Imposibleng walang
Is it just the current generation? Parang maraming entitled na ganyan ngayon. O dahil lang ba may social media tayo?
Ayan. I think
One
that's
of
the term.
possible reasons.
Feeling ko yan yun.
Hanap ka ng sponsor agad eh.
Pre-Facebook, wala ka naman makikita sa mga online forums na mga ganyan.
Na ganyan.
That's true.
Walang nagpo-post doon na, uy, I want to be a fighter. Please sponsor me. I need the gym, ganito, ganyan.
Yeah.
Ayun din pala, naalala ko, may isa rin nagsabi, may gym daw pero wala siyang pera. Sabi ko, bro, ito lang yan. Punta ka dun sa gym, sabihin mo yung intention mo sa may-ari, tapos sabihin mo, hindi ka kailangan turuan. Bigyan ka lang ng access dun sa gamit, tapos ang kapalit, maglilinis ka ng gym.
Yun.
Di ba? Sabi ko, pag sarado na yung gym, di ba, mop, linis, punas lang yan eh. Di ba? Tapos, afterwards, parang you get credit for it. So ngayon, may specific oras, punta ka doon, di ba? Ano ka? Gamitin mo yung bag, gamitin mo practice ka doon. I think I also mentioned this in one of those. Kailangan yung mga bagay na tinatanggap natin, pinagtrabahuhan natin.
Yes.
Para ma-appreciate natin kung ano yung meron tayo. Kasi pag nanggaling siya sa hingi, ang bilis natin siyang bibitawan.
Yes.
Kasi wala tayong level of
You
appreciation.
don't value it because it
Walang
was
value.
Oo.
Yes.
Parang earned.
Yeah. Actually nga, ako, based on personal experience, nung estudyante ako, na nag-start ako in Muay Thai back in 2007. May time na syempre, naubusan na, iniipon ko lang yung baon ko para makapag-train. Allowance ko from OJT. Iniipon ko siya. Tapos, nung time na, tapos na yung OJT, so, wala na akong means na makaipon talaga ng kasing laki nung nakukuha ko sa OJT. I approached my coach. Sabi ko, Coach, gusto ko pa mag-training. Kaya lang, wala na akong pambayad sa'yo. Paano ba ako pwedeng makapagpatuloy pa ng training kahit wala akong pambayad for now? Sabi ko, ako mismo nag-offer. Kahit na turuan mo ako pa paano mag-hold ng pads, mag-a-assist ako sa'yo. It's one of the ways. I mean, gusto mo matuto talaga.
Apprenticeship.
Mga ganun, apprenticeship, yes. A few years after, nung medyo kaya ko ulit, nagbibigay na ako ulit sa kanya. Siyempre, nakakaya naman. Kasi,
libre.
Don't take advantage of ano.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Kung kaya mo na magbayad ka na. Pero pag hindi pa, at least do something in return kung tuturuan ka ng libre.
Yep, that's true. It's always, lagi yung value for value. Okay? Huwag kayong masanay ng hingi. Ang dami kayo masanay ng libre. Okay? So I really
There you go. More often than not, pumayag kay JC. Di ba?
Kahit naman ako,
mo naman
pinagdaanan
maayos.
ko rin yun eh.
Diba?
Pinagdaanan ko rin yun. Sinabi
Kasi
ko nga.
people are afraid that they might be rejected. Yun lang yun.
Kung nireject ka for that, hindi okay.
At least tinry mo.
Yeah.
Trinay mo, di ba? Siya na yung umayaw. Ganun.
Ayan, so I really hope na everyone who's gonna watch and listen to this will pick the knowledge nuggets, and I mean these are just an experience na lang din namin to, experience to ng mga tao nasa paligid namin, at na kami maraming naririnig na kwento at naranasang kwento about these sorts of things, and I guarantee you, ako na nagsasabi, yung mga nagsimula sa hingi, walang pinatunguhan. Kasi hindi nagsimula
yung value,
They usually take it for granted.
Yeah. That's true. 100%. Okay. So we're gonna wrap this up.
I just wanted to give my thoughts and prayers to Myanmar and the people, the Burmese people who are now struggling in because of their democracy. Military junta has taken over again after their 50-year grip on power. Sana ma-restore po ang democracy para magkaroon po ulit tayo ng mga matches sa Lethway. Huwag niyo po isama sana yung bansa. Aside from that po, I would like to thank UFC for putting Overeem on again, giving him another chance. Next week, maganda po ang ating UFC, si Kamaru Usman versus Gilbert Burns. So we will be watching that. Awesome, welterweight. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes.
Finally.
Yes.
Finally
JC.
happening.
Let's go, baby.
Yeah, so first off, thank you for those who listen and watch our episodes. Nakakatuwa yung kwento ni Coach Franco na even sa MB Highlands boxing gym, nung pumunta siya, kilala kami. I mean, those are no ordinary people. They're boxers. They're professional boxers.
The titos of fighting.
Parang kami pa dapat ang mag-fanboy sa kanila, pero
Nakakatuwa. Nakakataba po ng puso.
sa mga first time manunood, thank you din. And hopefully, that's gonna be first of many. And syempre sa brands na naniniwala sa amin so far, itong Alak and Company. Thank you for the shirts and sa the Happy Coffee.
Okay, and then tawag dito, there's gonna be a fight card by the Elorde Promotions in what do you call this? There's gonna be one in Binyan, and then pero the one's gonna be in Binyan, one is gonna be in Paniki Tarlac. I mean, this is a clear sign of how we are going to adapt. We are thriving. The combat sports industry is thriving, and we are making sure na we're not going to be hindered by this disease or this outbreak or whatever the fuck people want to call it. Pero yun nga, we will thrive. We are thriving, and we will survive this. As you can see, we really wish success to all of the events here, and then there's gonna be one in and then Feb 20 there's gonna be one in Binyan, Laguna. So all the boxing promoters, thank you so much for mounting this. Thank you so much for taking.
By the way, yung event pala sa Tarlac, just to add, is presented by Elorde Boxing, VSP Boxing Vietnam, and UKC Pro.
Thank you so much for making this happen, and it could only mean good things for combat sports. Okay, so again, put everything in the comment section. If this is your first time to watch the show, welcome. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Please subscribe and follow to Destroy MNL. And my podcast is Coach Franco Says. I am also on Facebook and on Instagram. And with that, we close the show. See you guys next week on another edition of Combat Sports Weekly. Bye-bye.
Coach Franco Says would like to thank the following sponsors for making this episode possible.
My armor of choice. Never go to battle without it. Beware the robot face. I am Knots and Crosses. Place your orders on their Facebook or Instagram pages. Just good vibes in the local jiu-jitsu scene. Check out my Ikiro Collective family at ikiro.ph. Simply Better Dentistry. Visit the Santos Dental Group and Oral Surgery Center. Book an appointment on their social media pages. Boost your immune system with Nano Silver Immune Support Supplement. Order your bottles on their social media pages. For local martial arts news here in the Philippines, visit Local MMA on Facebook and listen to one of my favorite podcasts, Destroy MNL.